세계 최대 기업 G의 재결집, 미국 최대 이동통신회사 버라이존의 이반 세이든버그. 이들에게 수십 년간 경영 자문을 해온 현존하는 최고의 경영구루 렌차란을 올해 이데일리 세계전략포럼에 초대했습니다. 생존하는 가장 영향력 있는 기업 컨설턴트인 차란을 만나 급변하는 비즈니스 환경에서 성공하기 위한 비결과 그가 주창하는 리더십에 대해 들어봤습니다. 인도의 가난한 가정에서 태어나 유년 시절 구두가게 사환을 거쳐 전 세계 가장 성공적인 CEO들의 멘토가 되기까지 그의 성공 스토리도 나눠봤습니다.
Thank you for joining us today, and very nice to meet you, Mr. Wang. We just listened to your given a presentation about leadership, and we were going to talk about it later. And globally, companies are facing a major change into a new reality, economy reality since the subprime crisis. And I wonder if you can tell our viewers what successful management at the moment.
Yeah. I think one of the things about leaders is they will deal with any reality. Today, there is a shift of economic power from the Western advanced countries to emerging markets. There was a shift like that in the 60s for the four tigers: Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Korea. And Korea has really progressed almost 20 times since then. Now there is a larger scale shift to China, to India, to Brazil, to Russia, to Indonesia. So it is causing, in some places, a huge opportunity. In other places, the growth rate has declined, but it's not zero. And so the new reality is for the leaders to go where the growth is, learn about the architecture of growth, and work backwards from there how to design a new strategy.
You're an influential advisor and speaker and well known as a best-selling author at the same time. So I'd like to talk about some of your books. In Execution, which is one of your bestsellers, you're saying that the biggest obstacle to success in business is the absence of execution. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. See, in the many companies, people who have taken leadership jobs, they are bright, analytic, fast thinkers. They can cut through the clutter, get to the issues. But they have not had enough experience in their early career to get things done through other people. And if you cannot get things done through other people, your execution is not very good. Plus, if you don't have the execution right, you don't really know how good is your thought, how good is your thinking. And people get paid for results. They don't get paid just for thinking. So execution has been a problem for some, but execution is also a competitive advantage. And here you got to have people who get experience in leading people and getting things done.
I was told that you've visited a few conglomerates in Korea, such as LG. Am I right?
Yes.
Your books are published in Korea as well, so
Yes.
many successful CEOs read them looking
Yes.
for the insights. Is there any particular companies or CEOs you are interested in for consulting in Korea, I mean?
Well, I have not had much work in Korea. Mm-hmm. I just come here once to presentation to the top team on innovation. I have a book called The Game Changer. Mm-hmm. But I have not done any consulting here.
So is there any company you're interested in for consulting?
We'll have to
in the
see
future?
what they need. It's not so much me. It is what the people's need is.
As the management grew, you have been working closely with executives at GE, DuPont, and so on. So you have a lot of clients in such diverse industries. Then is there some common management points, no matter how different financial structure they have?
Yeah. I think the common part is not the answer. The common part is the questions. So one should try to learn exactly what is the issue, what is the opportunity, what's the problem, what's the difficulty, and work backwards from there. Don't go and use what you know. First find out what is needed, and then be honest. Can you help or can you not?
So you're saying that no matter how different industry or different financial structure they have, it's the common question, not the answer.
No, first find out what the need is.
What?
Precisely. What the issue is, what the question is, what the opportunity is.
Yeah, I see.
That's the skill. And then you work backwards.
I'd like to ask a difficult question now.
Sure.
I hope it's not so rude. You've worked with Jack Welch, the former CEO of General Electric. He had done a great job in GE, but also he's named neutron bomb for killing off considerable jobs there. Then did you have an agreement about his manpower management?
See, the way I work with him is that he has insatiable appetite and curiosity to know what's happening in the world. So I would go and see him and tell him best practices. Or I will go and see him and suggest an idea or two. But I'm not involved in those decisions he makes. I was involved in no decisions. I'd say there's a new practice, there's a new tool, there is a new thinking, and he's very curious about those.
So you don't judge about the result he made or something like that?
He does it. His people do it. I did not do that. No consultant does that with him. But he loves to learn new things.
You have helped to define and popularize the idea of a business human being on essential leadership characteristic in management. Does it mean having a leadership is the most important factor to be successful in business?
First, there is no single definition of leadership. So you have to have the right leadership for each business. No two businesses have the same leadership. And within a business depends what stage it is in. Then the leadership is very important. If you have the wrong leadership, everybody suffers.
It was very impressive what the 10 items what you mentioned in your session, and in every business is it does apply.
Yeah, if you follow through quickly, but diligently, it should help every leader to become better. When I was growing up in India, it was primarily a rural country. At the age of 11, my family started a shoe shop. Our family met every night to talk ideas. We earned the trust of the customers coming from the various villages. We had repeat customers, and to this day, their descendants come to my shop. My nephews today run that shop, and they now have 2 more shops in the same town. As I look back, having taught at Harvard, at Columbia, at Wharton, at Duke, at Northwestern, and having worked with some of the most famous CEOs in my life, I come to the real conclusion that I learned my first important lessons in business from that shoe shop. Those lessons are permanently etched in my DNA. I learned how important the simple concept of cash flow is. Without money coming in the door, we knew our business would fail.
And you said that you learned the important business lessons from the shoe shop. Can we talk about that?
Yes. The shoe shop taught me what every CEO has to do. Every one of them in the world. shoe shop taught me the importance of cash, importance of customer, importance of sales, importance of margins, importance of inventory turns. There was no schools, no training, no books, but you learned those things very quickly, and they have become a part of your DNA. So I can go to any company in the world and use the same items and go through those items to learn how the company functions.
Speaking of the family shoe shop, did you have any interesting experience from it?
Yeah, I think my first day in the shoe shop, I never forget, my brothers and I was very young, 11 years of age.
11,
yeah. And they bought shoes from a place 60 miles away.
Oh, 60 miles.
In a bus. And I never forget the first day's sales I counted. And then I had to figure out how to price a pair of shoes that was not being sold for 6 months or something. So I learned how to price that without any full knowledge, without any analytics. Then I learned how do you do those things.
You said you have learned important business lessons
Yes.
from the shoe shop.
Yeah.
And can you be more specific on that?
Yeah. See, at that age, at that time, there's no teaching, no books, no manuals. My brothers are young, 16, 17 years of age. They have never done a shoe shop. And this is the first shoe shop from this cost. The shoe shop, there were two in the whole town of 100,000. And most of the customers came from villages. So we have to learn everything. But we knew some things very quickly, like, do we have the cash at the end of the day? If we didn't have any cash, we couldn't do anything. We learned how to buy shoes from where. We learned how to price it. We learned how to take the margins. I understood margin on the first day at the age of 11. We learned how do you price the shoes. We learned when they don't sell, you cut the price. We will see why this pair of shoes is here for 6 months. We need to either throw it away or cut its price by 2/3. Those are the things we learn. And they are applicable today to most companies. Larger size, more complexity, more parts, but the basics are the same.
That was successful, the shoe shop?
Oh yeah. It became #1 in first year.
In the village?
It funded my education.
What was the secret to be
No,
successful?
we understood the customer.
It's very interesting. You said you understood customers.
Yeah.
Well, can you be more specific
Yeah.
on that?
You see, we were very good in seeing what the customer need really is. And we go to the place to buy shoes that fitted that customer need better than the other people.
So you knew the customer's needs. And
We listened, we observed, we were new, we didn't know anything. And so this is what is needed, so we go and buy those kinds of shoes.
that's why you talk to the CEOs around the world. Is this some kind of...
I mean, if there's no customer, there's no lunch.
Oh,
See, the gentleman asked me the question, what things more important? So first thing I said, get to know what the customer wants, what the customer needs. But it's huge, many people don't know how to do. And second, why the customer would prefer you. And third, you got to get through people. You're not going to do it yourself. We were doing ourselves. We don't have any people to do it.
you're a frequent traveler consulting corporations all over the world. And I wonder if you have been frequently visiting corporations in emerging markets.
I am. I spend a lot of time in Brazil, in India,
What
in
about
Singapore.
China too?
China, not much.
Not much. Then can we talk about some particular companies you're consulting now in emerging market?
Yeah, in India, I have companies I work with, and I'm helping them in their corporate governance. I'm helping them in selecting key people. I'm helping them to build leadership pipelines.
So you spend much time in
I'm
India?
helping them in acquisitions.
So you're spending much time in India?
Quite a bit.
lately?
Quite a bit.
As you well know, the subject of World Strategy Forum this year you're attending is economy power shift. Developed countries' decreasing economic power marks a power shift toward emerging economies and is further accelerating since 2008. And how do you see this wave and what is your outlook on that?
Well, first we got to be thoughtful about the word power shift. The emerging markets are growing. That does not mean that the advanced markets cannot grow. Their growth is not prevented by the emerging markets. They got their own problems. So they have to solve their own problems and not say that the emerging markets are preventing the growth of the advanced markets. There may be some exceptions here and there, but that's not so. So the advanced markets they got to get their house in order, and that will get them going. So it should be rephrased in real life that some places economic growth is much higher than other places. But the high growth countries are not preventing the advanced countries from growth.
But some multinational corporations collapsed in developed countries actually. So what do you think of that?
Say it again.
I mean, some multinational corporations collapsed.
Collapsed?
Yeah.
Where? In the emerging markets?
No, I mean in advanced countries.
Well,
in
they would have
2008.
collapsed regardless. Nothing to do with the emerging markets. They collapsed on their own. But emerging markets did not cause their collapse.
Exactly, yeah.
Which companies come to mind?
I was talking just AIG or
Nothing to do
something
with the
like
emerging
that.
markets. Nothing to do. They didn't. They melted. They're still alive, but their own doing. It has no relationship with the emerging markets.
Oh, they have no relationship in emerging markets.
Emerging markets did not cause any harm. Absolutely no harm.
When I met Warren Buffett a couple of years ago, I asked him one question, which was, even the Wall Street's living legend has ever regretted the investing decision he made. Then I want to ask this similar one as well. Have you ever regretted your consulting points given to the clients?
See, my work is more advising them to see different viewpoints, telling them the best practices. But I don't have that issue like Warren Buffett. And he himself will tell you that if you make 10 investments, some will not go right. Because in my case, to be able to give somebody a real consulting, I have to be a lot of time and I have to be in their shoes. So I watch that very carefully.
I heard that microfinancing ended up being a huge failure. Was it because of lack of leadership?
I got familiar with microfinance in Brazil. I went to see Casa Bahia. I had with me a very highly educated person to take me through. And when I visited the shop in Casa Bahia, and I saw the prices on the garments, I was not happy. So this very highly educated person with me, I said to him, do you understand what they're doing? No. I said, they're charging 50% per annum interest rate. It says 2% per month. 2% per month is 50% per annum. People don't understand how that gets calculated. And I said, that is not helping the poor. because their losses are very small. And therefore, these people were becoming billionaires and not helping the poor. It is same thing in many microfinance. They're charging that kind of interest rate that the poor can't afford, especially when the interest rate, when the losses are very low. So they should be giving money back afterwards if the losses are very low. So in this case, what has happened in India, they did all this, and then somebody making a lot of money by going public and getting a lot of capital gains. So the finance ministry came in and clamped it down, rightly so. I am not in the camp of 50% per annum interest rate on poor. Somebody needs to come in on that. Citizens need to see what is the real interest rates and what are the losses. And they should match with real other customers, but not double, not triple. So I never favored that. I said poor people being misused. The Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, I don't know what interest rate he charged, but he's in trouble with the government of Bangladesh now. He got a Nobel Prize, and the government of Bangladesh wants him out.
It's going to be the last question today. You gave us enormous perspective at the forum. And
yeah.
What have you got from the forum yourself?
Well, I learned a lot. Number one, the generation in the forum is very young. It's hungry. It wants to learn. That's a very good sign. Second is that there's a huge opportunity in Korea to look at the world more openly. I got a real feel that Korea is sitting as a very important hub in this region. Koreans need to take initiative the way Singapore has.
Thank you for your time, and it
very
was
good,
nice.
excellent, thank you. Very good interview. You do a great job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
가장 기억에 남는 것은 프레스석 앞줄에서 큰 가방 2개를 옆에 두고 포럼을 경청하고 있는 한 인도 신사였는데요. 가까이 가서 보니 램차가 아니었습니다. 새벽에 공항에 내리자마자 짐도 풀지 않고 포럼장으로 직행해서 전 세션을 경청하는 모습이 다른 연사들과는 너무나도 달랐는데요. 무대에서 내려와 참석자들의 자리를 누비며 질문을 던지고 브레인스토밍을 함께 하도록 유도하는 열정적 강의, 자신이 잊지 못할 것 같습니다.